but he hasn't got anything on.
The line that brings the whole house of cards tumbling down.
It's arguably one of the most famous sentences in all of literary history.
Oh, absolutely.
You hear it and you immediately picture the scene, right? The vain monarch, the parade, the hushed crowd.
And then that sudden, humiliating realization that everyone is just staring at a naked man.
Right. It's the ultimate nightmare of public exposure.
Yeah, the exact moment the collective delusion just snaps.
It really is. So today we are doing a deep dive into Hans Christian Andersen's The Emperor's New Clothes.
Or Keserin's Nightclater, if you want to be authentic about it.
Right, exactly. But here is the thing about this deep dive. We aren't just doing a cozy literary review of some 19th century fairy tale.
No, because the story behind the story is actually much stranger, and frankly, much more modern than the fairy tale itself.
So much stranger. We have a stack of sources today that completely reframe what this narrative is. We're going to look at how this story started out as a medieval text about paternity testing.
Which is a wild pivot that I really don't think many people see coming.
I definitely didn't. And we'll look at how it morphed into a Disney blockbuster about a talking llama that has literally nothing to do with the original book.
Yeah, that's a fascinating leap.
And the heavy hitter in our stack today is an in-depth PhD dissertation by Anne Clara Bohm.
Which is the really fascinating part for me. Bohm argues that Hans Christian Andersen isn't just a writer anymore, he's a cultural phenomenon.
Right.
He's a battleground where a small Danish city is fighting the entire global market over who owns the brand.
It's a study in vanity, branding, and who controls the narrative. Which, if you think about it, is exactly what the original story was trying to warn us about.
It is meta all the way down.
Right.
The story about the clothes has become a story about how we dress up the author himself.
Yeah. But before we get into the heavy cultural warfare, let's just ground ourselves in the text. The story we think we know.
Because even reading the summary again for this, I was struck by how dark it actually is.
It really is dark. It's basically a psychological thriller wrapped in a children's fable.
Totally. So you have an emperor who is obsessed with his wardrobe. He cares way more about velvet and silk than his soldiers or his own people.
He's the ultimate consumer.
And that vanity creates a vulnerability. So enter the two swindlers. They drift into town, claiming they can weave a cloth that is not only beautiful, but has a specific magical property.
Right.
It is invisible to anyone who is unfit for their office or unpardonably stupid.
And that condition is the hook. It's a perfect psychological trap. It's not just invisible cloth. It's a litmus test for your career and your intelligence.
Exactly. I mean, if they had just said it's invisible magic cloth, people might have just said, well, I don't see it.
Yeah, prove it. Right.
But by attaching it to being unfit for office, they basically weaponize the viewer's insecurity.
That's such a great way to put it.
Okay.
So the emperor sends his honest old minister to